I believe we will get started soon. Okay, so so thanks everyone for joining. Some insight onto both of these runners, spoilers, if you will. So first of all, in terms of a personal best, Kipp has a 42:31. Um, extremely elite time. Definitely, maybe one of the favorites, could potentially take this entire tournament. Wouldn't say, I think people would maybe believe that that's definitely not, out of the realm. We have some really strong runners, and Kipp is definitely near the top of some of the runners here. Duck, very strong runner. One of the interesting things that could happen here, as mentioned by Radon earlier, are they both PRKD? Well, Kipp is a PRKD runner. However, apathyduck is primarily one of the reasons why I consider my rival a PKRD runner. So almost exactly the same thing, except getting that extra safety of picking up Varia first. Extra benefits can also pick up the Kraid tank along the way. We'll have that extra health going into Lower Norfair, and we'll have that various suits. So if you do opt to go for the Lava Spark or you miss it, you're not just going to have one shot to dying in that whole process. Very good for races. We've seen some other strong runners actually opt to go for PKRD when they primarily run PRKD in their route. All right. We'll see if we can get that layout switched over. To the normal layout. We got Kipp here with the webcam. Right. So both these runners, we'll try to get that synced up here, but I believe both these runners are neck and neck right now based off of these series entrance times. Oh yeah, here we go. Taking a slight lead here. Getting that D boost. There we go. Got that layout. Ooh, Kipp taking a little stumble in the series elevator. Okay, wow. Honestly, really great backup by Kipp. If you mess up that room, that elevator room, everything just falls apart. You'll start getting steamed. You'll try to jump. The steam just knocks you right back down. It just becomes a complete madhouse. Everything just falls apart. I usually come out with like a 36 if I get hit with the steam. But Kipp, showing his veteran expertise, going up the left side. I've never seen anyone do that before. Avoiding a bunch of steam and getting that 43 coming out of series. So a little bit of a lead here with Duck, but it's just the beginning of the game. Right. So here we go. Off the ship. Interesting to note, some of these playstyles. So one thing you'll notice is Duck is definitely someone that is I feel like sometimes you'll see certain runners of certain calibers, and perhaps maybe they're better at boss fights and therefore they have that time, or maybe they're better at the movement and so they have a certain kind of time as well. So interesting thing is, I would say Duck is someone that has very strong movement, and it definitely shows. It's just getting a certain time in new route it involves so many different variables, nailing all the boss fights, hitting all the tricks. But one thing you'll see for sure is Duck is not the kind of person, I believe, that's going to slack off on some sort of ledge grab or down grab. Definitely going to be aggressive with those. Will have movement as good as the best. Now that being said, Kipp, a 42 runner is pretty much, when you're talking about 42 runners, they're kind of in an elite ballpark of runners. Now that being said, I think it would be, people would agree that Kipp probably has more safer strats when it comes to people at the top. You'll see, like, even right here, the construction zone down, you'll see people maybe go for that down back strat. Kipp opting to go for I don't know if that's because he doesn't have angle down or something like that, but opting to go for just run over through and just shoot straight down. A strat you pretty much will never fail. Other things to note that I've noticed about Kipp is in a race setting, I don't know if this is necessarily something he does in a PB, but in a race setting, at least, he will opt to go for the gravity jump in LN as opposed to something like the Lava Spark, which is a pretty wise choice when it comes to consistency within a race. So here we go. Let's see what strats both of these players employ. Okay, so both of them doing the, I would say sort of the, not the hardest strat, which would be the pit boost going on to pit, but both of them doing more of the strong, like, consistent intermediate strat, which is just jumping onto the middle platform, shooting left and right, killing all the pirates, and then continuing forward. All right. Ooh, Duck taking a little bit of a hit there. That's not going to be good. He's going to have to get some health one way or another. Probably shooting some of these bugs on the way up. There we go. Getting a nice big health. So now he has full health. Won't have to deal with, you know, the really edge case RNG with Bomb Torizo. All right, Kipp getting here with a 448 bombs time. Very good time. Duck right behind with the 453 bombs time. Yes. So another thing you'll notice that Kipp is doing the strat where you stay kind of further on the left of Bomb Torizo, walk forward, and then he jumps backward. I believe the optimal strat is what Duck was doing, where you stand on a pixel-perfect platform right in front of Bomb Torizo's foot, and it'll cause him to jump even quicker than the other strat. So a small thing. Duck bonking that door a little bit and coming out with 2 missiles, so he might have to do a slightly slow delay in the Terminator room to grab 2 extra missiles. But other than that, yeah, both runners pretty neck and neck at this point. Alright, both players opting to do the more free Terminator strat. No arm pumping here. Just holding angle down and pretty much shooting all the way through. Duck is going to have to pause here to grab these extra missiles. Kipp will just be able to run through. Okay, Duck opting not to pause. Okay, that means he's going to have to get a few extra sets of missiles here. Okay. I see. Okay. So one of the reasons why you would necessarily pause in the Terminator room is those waivers have pretty much almost a guaranteed chance to drop missiles for you. As you might notice here, Duck actually only has 1 missile and Kipp will have 2. You want to come out with at least 2 because what you'll do on the way to the early supers doors is there's 2 little bugs down there. You shoot 2 P shots and 1 missile. And that'll get you 4 missiles from the farm. And Duck is going to opt to shoot 2 P shots there. So a little bit slower because you're not one-shotting that 1 bug. But not having to use that missile means that he'll be able to get the 5 missiles total. Alright. So Kipp's consistency, his expertise showing that he's taking the lead purely based off, you know, that experience, that, you know, consistency that Kipp has. Duck going all the good strats, actually doing some faster strats than Kipp, but, you know, in a race setting or just in general, the consistency will, you know, there will be some cost of consistency doing some harder strats. Okay, Duck going back to grab that little farm. And as you can see, both players, you know, same exact resources. Everything's pretty much going as is. And Kipp grabbing that charge beam. You'll notice that even rooms like this, there's very slight differences. Everyone just does something a little bit different. In this case, you know, Kipp and Duck, both upon getting the charge beam, unmorph, so they kind of propels them a little bit forward to land there. Some other people choose to morph on the ground. In this case, both of them doing pretty much the same strat here. Let's see if Kipp goes for this boost. Nice. Okay, Kipp getting that bug boost. Now let's see if Duck can also get this boost. Okay, not getting that boost. May have noticed slightly different strategy there. Pretty much that would be up to the player's preference. Okay, so now Kipp coming up red tower. Definitely a spot where you can lose a good chunk of time if you mess up here. But no problem for Kipp. Excellent D-boost through the hellway. No problem for Duck as well, going up the red tower. Okay, so Duck, instead of doing the double deboost, I'm not sure if Kipp did the double deboost. I think he did, but Duck opting to do a little bit of farm strat on the hallway, so it's a little bit slower. But you do get that little extra prep for Phantoon, which is definitely one of the harder bosses in New Route. All right, nice deboost by Duck, and Kipp making his way up to the moat. Dashio Cat in chat, a KPDR runner, doesn't appreciate the most beautiful room of New Route, which is the moat right here. We'll see if Kipp can execute this strategy. It's going to be an HBJ. The CWJ attempt is only on one specific frame, and he did not get it. So this is essentially a backup, but everyone needs to know this. Excellent. Duck opting not to go for the CWJ. The thing is, the CWJ, because there's one frame where you can get that trick, if you overshoot it by one frame, you will actually fall right in the water. So this is more of a safe strat. Excellent. Both players getting over the moat. I feel like it's been a while since we've had a race where both players did not stumble in the moat. Definitely one of the most notorious rooms in New Route, but both players conquering it. And we're on our way to Phantoon. This is definitely one of the more scarier bosses of the run. Pretty much everything that Phantoon can hit you for is going to be for 40. So both of these players have 148 HP, which is a lot of health in New Route. Sometimes you'll come here with, 90 or so, and you only have 3 hits. Both of these players very healthy coming in. Don't expect to see any deaths here, but Phantoon definitely has a good bit of RNG here. So we'll see what Kipp gets as a pattern. Oh wow, Kipp getting the fast. Okay, excellent on-screen fast Doppler. This is really, really good for Kipp. This is looking like a fast mid for Kipp, 75% chance-ish. Oh my goodness, that is a very, very good kill time. So for reference, that was like 11:06 kill time. This is a time that Kipp could actually be on PB pace. It's not a run that very often a New Route runner will throw away, or reset at this point, because if you get multiple slows, it's pretty much over. Wow, Duck getting a great Doppler. I believe that was a slow pattern, but this is PB pace for Kipp. Absolutely. Ooh, Duck getting the enrage. That's no good. He's going to lose a lot of time here. Unfortunately, that second Doppler wasn't that great. A few of those missiles missed. Still went for the super. I think he probably knew when he threw that super out that it wasn't going to be. But sometimes, there's just not that much time to react. And against a runner like Kipp, you really have to just go for it. So definitely understand what's going on here. Let's see. Getting the slow punish too. Okay, so Duck is definitely going to be behind here, losing some time. But he'll be able to get through this fight, no problem. All right, so Kipp coming through the attic. Kipp going ahead. Okay, you can see the consistent safe strats of a race. Duck heading start there. Don't think that was on purpose, but you can see Kipp opted to shoot one of the atomics in the previous room with the super. Normally that's not something that people would do, but the atomics have a pretty high chance of giving you health, and Kipp wants to get through all of this with looks like max health. This will guarantee that his bowling, is going to be going through the bowling is going to be, very unrisky. I'm not sure if that's necessarily the reason he wants to do it, but coming a lot of health here is always pretty nice. Oh, very interesting. So Kipp opting to go for a pseudo screw there and then deboosting off the rest of it. Definitely some strats I've never seen before. That's why this route is, Super Metroid in general is just going to be really great. So there you go. There's another strat. You can see Kipp is opting to just run through, hit the spikes. That is the way you have to do it. The other thing is, some of the risky strats, quote unquote risky strats, would be deboosting off the spikes to the right. However, if you mess that up, you might easily take multiple hits on the spikes and then you might end up dying right there. And that's, of course, not a good situation. Duck has to be really careful here. Everything in this room, this is definitely one of the most dangerous rooms. And Duck definitely took some damage here, but there's a lot of health. I think he'll be okay. All right. So Duck messing up the attic a little bit. Using a bunch of supers here. Now, spoilers, good chance Duck opts to go for PKRD. So using a bunch of super missile here is not the worst thing, because Kraid, if you do Kraid, you will typically come out of Kraid with, max supers. So running PKRD, you can just kind of go crazy with your supers here, and you won't really get punished for it. Kipp, on the other end, going to Ridley second, has to be careful about his super count, because you want all the supers you can get for Ridley, and yeah, not having short supers on Ridley is really bad. You lose a lot of time on it. The fight gets a lot harder because you just don't want to prolong the Ridley fight if you can. But okay. Kipp with the nice health, heading down to the CAC farm. I'm going to assume one of the strats you can do is just Moonfall and ignore all the farm, but I have to imagine Kipp's going to farm these 2 cactuses here. Oh, opting not to do that. Okay. Kipp skipping the cactus. Probably costs, about a second and a half to farm those 2, but opting not to do it. Okay. And opting not to go for any Moonfall strats in the red tower as well. So it's definitely interesting to note. I would say that, there were mistakes on Duck's end, but there was nothing incredibly egregious. So this is kind of more so a testament to how consistent and strong that Kipp is, because honestly, Kipp is doing really, really good right now. All right. So now we have Kipp going over here, gonna break that Meridia tube. We'll be coming back here later, not doing this right now. And we'll be heading straight down. Okay, here we go. There was a little bit of chatter in the lobby room. Both of these racers were talking about this. Don't recall Kipp saying he would agree to this, but Duck did goad Kipp a little bit into saying, "Hey, we running PKRD? Are we running PKRD?" And I guess that's what happened here. So Kipp doing Duck's route. Once again, that would explain why Kipp opted not to farm those cactuses. Because once again, you do Kraid second, you come out with a very healthy amount of supers in general. Kipp opting to set a power bomb there to set his X position, so he's in the right spot. Normally you don't use a power bomb, but in PKRD you will get 4 power bombs straight right after this. So there's no issue. By using the power bomb, you might be able to kill a claw underneath the screen that you can't really see. It reduces a little bit of lag for the whole process of Kraid coming up. So that's a subtle thing showing that Kipp clearly knows what he's doing here. Okay, and now we have Duck breaking that tube. And interesting. So, that's an interesting strategy. Kipp using a power bomb in that situation to kill all the pirates. Typically, you'll just see someone, shoot a charge shot Spazer, and then shooting a few shots and then using a missile. But opting to use a power bomb, don't know how much time that actually costs, but we'll get a full power bomb refill right here because those little frogs, they drop almost guaranteed a power bomb. Okay. Now we have Duck heading over to Kraid. And Kipp will now be heading down to the business center. Oh, missing that mock ball right there, but that's okay. Okay, so Kipp being an upper Norfair, this is kind of the, I would say, kind of separates, some runners from other runners because there's a lot of difficult execution here. There's no risk of dying in this area, but you'll often see, if you were to pit one person against another, one person might take a huge lead just on pure movement because there's a lot of difficult rooms that you could just lose 1 or 2 seconds here and there. This is one of them. I don't know if you saw, but Kipp got a little quick fall through that little block. It's really easy to not land in the little hole, and you can just kind of get stuck, and then you lose a few seconds here and there. This is what Upper North Fair is mostly comprised of, rooms like this. So here we go. There we go. The slight difference there with Duck opting to use the charge shot and killing the rest of the pirates with missiles. And Duck is also heading over to grab the Crate E-Tank. So Kipp doing a nice 3 farm there, heading over to the Ice Beam room. So even, you know, like this room right here that Kipp's about to enter, there's a lot of nuance to it. You have to get a tight wall jump there. The shot to kill the Sova going through it's a very small window. There's oftentimes you'll shoot that shot and it won't kill the Sovas and you won't get the farm and you miss out on, you know, the resources that you need for Ridley. A lot of consequences could happen if you mess up some of these rooms that will show later down the line. Okay. Kipp with the excellent ice escape. That is often a stopping point for players that want to do new route. An old route, you can opt to just go the southern route, break the power bombs, run down into the croc room. However, that ice escape, as Kipp made it look easy, but it's, you know, you opt to do this route, you're going to have to practice that room, otherwise you'll get stuck in it, because the mock ball going into the next room is pretty tight. You have to have a lot of run speed or else you won't be able to make that gate. Alright, so Kipp opting to do the Morph Ball strat in Rising Tide. You might see some runners go along the top. Very, very difficult execution, only to save maybe 20 frames or so. Okay. Excellent. So that cactus right there was about to scam him. Knock him down, and he's going to lose a lot of time. But Kipp getting that missile out real fast. Okay. Now we have Duck heading over to the Ice Beam. Kipp's resources looking a little sparse here. Opting to use missiles on that door. Wise decision. Generally in this situation, you're going to be a little starved of super missiles. So you're going to want to... if there's a red door, it might cost, you know, 10-20 frames to use missiles instead of supers, but the supers are going to be the primary commodity, which is going to save time on the Ridley fight. And right where Kipp is right now is kind of the last farm spot to get these resources. So let's see how many farms he does. That's 3 farms, 15-8, great resources coming out. Wise choice, good amount of farm. Kipp's in great position to get through LN. All right. So, as expected, Kipp grabbing these wave missiles. Someone at Kipp's level, I'm not sure if he always grabs those. Given that Kipp is more of a consistent type of player, I suspect maybe he still runs 2010, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Very often a 42 runner, when you get to that sort of low time, they will opt to skip those missiles. Because that's the kind of edge that you're going to have to cut if you're trying to get a PB. That being said, you skip those missiles, you have to land every single one at the end of the game, or else you will soft lock and you will lose the game. And it happens to every single runner at that level. It's just the cost of, you know, that's the price you pay. You lose maybe 15% more of your runs at the cost of saving about 4 seconds or something like that. It can be pretty crazy. Okay, so let's see if Kipp opts to go for the Lava Spark. Because he went PKRD, the punishment for losing, the punishment for not getting Lava Spark, okay, here we go, he's going for Lava Spark. Now here's the thing, because you do PKRD, you will have the Various Suit. Excellent, getting it. So if you opt to miss it, if you opt to go for Lava Spark and you miss it, but you have Various Suit, when you do the gravity jump, you take significantly less damage, and that's very important because in PRKD, you miss that Lava Spark, you're going into Lower Norfair, you have basically 1 health. It's effectively the same thing. You get hit by anything, you're dead in 1 shot because the cost of the health missing the spark and having to do the gravity jump pretty much drains all of your health. But Kipp, knowing that there's no risk to it because he's got the extra energy tank from Kraid and has the Various Suit, opts to go for the spark, nails it anyway, so everything's great here. Kipp getting that pillar spark. And we have Duck grabbing that wave beam. Oh, Kipp messing up the worst room thing. Okay, yeah, wise decision. He's just gonna reset. You pretty much have to do this entire room in one shot. If you mess it up, everything just falls apart. These guys will start flying off the walls in ways that you can't really predict, and you might die. Oh, Kipp getting the backup. Okay, nice. Just getting up. It's called worst room in the game for a reason. Because they'll start, wall jumping. Those pirates will hit you, and then they'll knock you down. The room is set up in a way where the optimal strat is you get it and you know exactly where they're going to be for the first time. And if it doesn't work out, it's probably the wisest decision to just reset the room and go back and do it again. It does cost time, but honestly, there's no better path for something like that. So here, let's see if Duck can also get the lava spark. Okay, Duck opting to miss that, or not opting, but Duck does miss the lava spark. That window is really, really, really short. This trick is very difficult. But once again, because we're running PKRD here, Duck having plenty of health. So it's all fine. Now let's see Kipp getting through probably the last dangerous room of LN, but because he's so healthy, it's really not any problem here. And now he's going to do the Metal Pirates. So this is a spot where we're probably going to want to keep an eye on Duck because, once again, Duck is going through the harder parts of the LN entrance. The rest of these rooms, I feel like, don't have as much consequence in terms of your potential death until we get to Ridley. All right, so let's see if Duck can get this Pillar Spark. Ooh, not getting the Pillar Spark. Okay, opts to reset the room. You do have an option to just go. The faster way is to just continue on, use 2 power bombs. However, that does get a little bit risky. You may potentially lose your run due to not having enough power bombs if you mess up the worst room in the game. So Duck opting to just reset that room, and that's perfectly fine. Kipp going for X Factor strats. Okay. All right. Let's see how many he can get here. That's 2. 3 X Factors. Oh, the last one misses. Okay. This is one of the reasons why the X Factor strat is really risky. Okay. Didn't waste too much time there because the particle ended up swinging over and hitting. Now, the X Factor strat is debatably a little faster, and we're talking like maybe a few seconds compared to an optimal beam fight. However, one of the main benefits of doing an X Factor strat is Ridley has, Ridley's AI has a lot of RNG built into it. So there's a lot of situations where Ridley will start pogoing, and then you have to waste time by morphing under him and going under. Now, you can't really control that, but an X Factor strat will make the fight go a little bit faster, so you're a little less susceptible to RNG. That's one of the main reasons, but it comes at a big risk of potentially getting hit and potentially completely destroying your run if you can't get the X Factors to land. But Kipp recovering nicely. Duck getting a little bit low on health, but should be okay. If Duck makes a big mistake in this room, he could die. So we definitely want to keep an eye on him here. Let's see if he makes it through. Okay, looks like he'll be fine. Now these hoppers, I believe, would kill him in 2 hits. And very often, if you mess up, get hit by the hopper in the very beginning, usually things will fall apart. You'll probably get hit again. So he could have absolutely died here. We had that happen in a previous race the other day with Andrew versus Freya Spirit. Andrew ended up dying in that room for that exact reason. Okay. Yeah, Duck heading over to Ridley. Missing that short charge, but we'll redo this again. Definitely want to have that blue suit coming through here because a lot of those things hit really hard, and there's no fast way to really get through unless you have that charge stored. Okay. Kipp getting that nice speedball through that wasteland room. That's the strat that you really want to execute here. And now Kipp going through one of the harder parts of LN, the Key Hunter shaft. As you can see, he's rolling backwards, and that's because there's a way to manipulate these key hunters in a way that you can dodge these 2 above. Let's see if he gets it. Okay, it was a little weird, but he gets it. Not coming out with a hit here is extremely good. So the other dangerous part would be the 3 Musketeers room coming up soon after for Kipp, but it does seem like he's going to have enough health where he could just barrel through all of them, not worry. Very often you might come in through this room in PRKD with 1 or 2 hits, and you have to execute this room perfectly. Duck getting really low on health. Duck only has 1 health here. If he gets hit by Ridley one more time, he's gonna die. This is a really, really dangerous spot for Duck. He can't get hit. The fireballs are okay, but if the tail hits him, he's dead. Ridley still isn't down to half HP yet. He'll turn brighter red and have a different color. Okay. Oh no! Oh my gosh! Come on, Duck, you can do this! Come on, Duck! Ridley should be pretty close to dying here. There's still an RNG element. We'll have to hope Ridley behaves here, because if Ridley decides to just whack him with the tail, he's gonna die. Oh my gosh! Ridley, please! Oh, Ridley! Oh my god! Okay, that Duck deserves to save like 3 minutes there, because that was the most clutch performance I've seen in my entire life when it comes to a Ridley fight. Duck, seeing that he was gonna get hit by the tail, morphs away, dodges a few of the hits, then gets the clean grab from Ridley. Ridley's tail has an AI of its own. So even though Ridley will opt to grab you, sometimes his tail will just hit you and you can't do anything about it. But he was able to react to Ridley's tail, dodges 2 of the tails that was gonna hit him, and then gets the clean grab and survives the fight. Amazing performance by Duck. Okay, so Duck opting to grab the Duck's adrenaline must be popping off right now, but Duck opting to grab the Ridley E-Tank, a wise decision because he had 2 HP. And has to get that super missile. But now, definitely a little bit, definitely behind here. But we have Kipp coming up to the Phantoon fight. I believe Duck should be fine getting out of LN because of the Ridley E-Tank and his health. So Kipp coming here for the Phantoon fight. This is going to be quite difficult. So Kipp does an interesting X Factor strat. Oh, opting to miss it. So you missed that one. You might have noticed Kipp missed that one particle. That makes this fight. You pretty much will just. Okay, I was gonna say you're gonna lose like 30 seconds in this fight, but Kipp with his, veteran expertise, just sniping Phantoon in the face. I don't really know any patterns beyond the first 2 patterns, because I kind of think if you miss it, you're kind of screwed. But Kipp fixing the pattern, not losing any time, or not losing much time there. Very, very well executed by Kipp. All right, so let's see if he can get the full halfie. Once again, store that spark. You have 3 seconds to get to the next room and spark across the room. And nails that trick. So this is definitely an excellent run by Kipp. Really, really strong race run. And we have Duck getting through the 3 Musketeers room, but has 337 health, so he's completely fine, unless he somehow takes like 7 hits here, which I'm sure he won't. Okay, so Kipp has a little bit of downtime before the baby Dragons get to the right, running around the room, opting to do a rain dance strat. So what that is you start the X Factor here, and you kind of swing the X Factors around, and then as you bring it back, it'll all hit Dragon. This is all, he knows exactly when to do that. It was all a planned setup. Oh, that is the hard pattern from Dragon, the hard 2-round, and Kipp nails it. That's definitely one. Oh, and gets the spike suit. Wow, this is just Kipp honestly showing just like a master class when it comes to just Super Metroid speedrunning. Just nailing everything. Honestly, this is really, really, really strong run by Kipp. So getting that spike suit allows him. It's essentially a glitch where you'll store that shine spark, and you don't have to get that get an initial dash to have that spark. It gets pretty technical. I don't know exactly why it works that way, but all you need to know is a frame perfect trick, essentially a double frame perfect trip, and you involving hitting the spikes in Dragon's rooms. Completely whack, but he gets it. Now we have Duck on his way over to Dragon and Phantoon. Ooh, Duck getting a little stumble there. You really want to get that door on the first try, or else the fish will sort of block you. Okay, let's see if Kipp opts to do any sort of farm here, or if he just goes. Okay, Kipp will do a farm here. Let's see if he chooses to farm even more. Nope, he's just going. Kipp being ahead absolutely could have just sat there and farmed till full if he wanted to just have the absolute safe Torian, but honestly, he's on a great pace right now. These resources are very strong. So for a runner as, you know, capable of Kipp, you don't have to do something like that. Interesting. Duck opting to get a little bit of farm here. I think the reason he's doing that, that's not a room you'll typically go into. However, I think Duck is kind of thinking that the only chance he has... Okay, Duck also grabbing some missiles right here. Grabbing an extra pack of supers. I believe Duck can acknowledge they are able to watch each other's streams. Duck, I think, understands at this point that his only chance is if Kipp somehow makes a big flub and... Oh. Okay. Maybe he was thinking that one of the chances he had is to get a, you know, if Kipp makes a big flub and dies or soft locks at Mother Brain. That being said, Duck also didn't have the resources to do a 2-round Phantoon, so opting to, you know, do a little farm and grabbing those super packs, clearing out Phantoon real fast, having no issues there. All right, so Kipp getting to G4. G4 also known as Golden 4, aka the gold statue that checks to see if you have completed the 4 bosses, therefore allowing you to go to the final section of the game. And we will see, as you notice, that Kipp still doesn't have ice selected. You're going to need that for the fight. So as Kipp goes down the elevator, he will press pause. He will turn on ice. And he will continue to the Turian fight. So Kipp definitely in a commanding lead here. You know, I've seen people die to this first Metroid room because they can't get the Metroids off them. Very unlikely, but you know, it's not there's not a 0% chance of something like that happening. Oh, very interesting strat by Kipp. Okay. Duck getting through this Dragon fight. Dragon not cooperating. Kipp's resources, you know, are pretty good, but you can definitely get scammed here. Yes, Kipp being very careful here, making sure to... Ooh, okay. Kipp coming out with 28. He's gonna be okay here, but... you know, there's always a chance that he doesn't come out with the ideal resource. Okay, Kipp coming out with perfect resources here. He's in prime position to get a really, really good time in this race. We have Duck taking care of Dragon. Let's see, did he get the spike suit? Duck also getting the spike suit. Really well played by Duck. All right, so now we have the baby skip. Duck making his way over to G4. Oh, Kipp getting grabbed by the baby. You know, perfectly fine. He's gonna lose like 30 seconds here, but I do imagine with how well Kipp was playing in this run that he probably wants to challenge himself and try to get the best time he can possibly get as well. But grabbing the baby definitely is gonna lose him some time here. Ooh, Duck getting a really good little weave through that room. That is not an easy trick. It's not something that, you know, very often you won't see a world record holder. Zost, I don't think actually even goes for that weave in his any % world record run. Opts to do a more conservative strat that's much easier. That is maybe, you know, 20 frames faster or slower. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see if Kipp opts to be extra safe here. Aha, all right. Here we go. Kipp not choosing to save here. Very dangerous, so props to Kipp. if he had saved there, you know, and he messed this up, he could just restart at that save point and he's still in the game. However, if he dies here, it is over for Kipp, very likely, unless Duck can't complete the race. So Kipp getting through that fight, no problem. And now starting the Mother Brain 2 fight. It'll take 60 charge shots to end Mother Brain, the Mother Brain 2 fight, and then at charge shot 45, Mother Brain will start doing the catch-up beam, which will potentially immediately one-shot Kipp. Good chance that Kipp can survive due to his health, but you never know. So we'll see. The stakes are very high here for Kipp. If he gets killed here, he will be most likely be knocked into the loser's bracket. Okay, we have Duck heading into G4, or into G4, and heading over to Turian. Oh, okay. Dodging that catch-up beam. That was pretty close. Kipp had a little smile there on the webcam. I think he knows that was kind of close. All right. Oh, okay. That was a little mix-up. Mother Brain kind of looked like she was gonna drop a little meatball instead of doing the ketchup, but opting not to. Okay, Kipp has to be a little careful here just in case. Okay. And the reason why you have to be a little careful is if you kind of dash into Mother Brain, I've literally had this happen to me before, literally the other day. If you dash into Mother Brain, there's a chance that you could take chain damage and you might just lose 120 health completely randomly. And if that happens, it's over. But that's probably the final dangerous part of this match. Kipp almost certainly looking like he's going to come out with this victory, but yeah, it's almost certainly looking like that. With Duck getting through Turian. Duck with the 2012 resources. Plenty of resources to get through all of this. Duck with the 5E tank 2015. Definitely going to have no issues with Mother Brain 1. Right. So we're going to the final scene of the game. Mother Brain killing the baby. Tragedy strikes, and Samus, in a fit of rage, now has an extremely strong beam. And now let's see how this Mother Brain 3 fight goes. Okay, Kipp getting a little bit closer in the face of Mother Brain. One thing to know about this fight, if you stand a little bit further back, it's easier to get the jump and the 4 charge shots, but Kipp opting to stand a little bit closer. Harder to get the 4 shots in, however, one of the main reasons you stand a little closer is there's a little bit less lag. Every time you shoot that beam, it does cause a little bit of lag, and if you can get through the fight with the least amount of lag possible, you will save time on someone else. Okay, so let's go Kipp. Escaping the planet that's about to explode. And Duck will start his Mother Brain fight. Duck does have 4 supers, so we'll see if he opts to use those supers to hit Mother Brain. Should do a little bit more damage than the charge shots. Okay, keep getting the Moonfall. Okay. So here's the question. Can Kipp 43? It's going to be close. Will Kipp get the 43? Okay, good parlor. Not saving the animals. Low numbers more important than saving the animals. Looks like Kipp can do it. Excellent finish. And Kipp, GG to Kipp, our racer coming in first place with an official racetime.gg time of 43 minutes and 56 seconds. GG to Kipp. That was an incredible run. 43 in a race setting. Just really showing why he's just kind of getting through these brackets and really just doing so well. Such a strong runner, showing, putting up such a strong showcase. GG to Kipp. Okay, so now we have Duck finishing up this Mother Brain fight. Okay. Duck opting not to use the super missiles here. And getting blasted by that rainbow beam. Small nuance, for those of you who don't know, the reason why you need to collect 3 E-tanks, you might ask yourself, well, if you're really trying to push, world record of the best time, why don't you just have 1 E-tank through this entire run? And that's because you will need at least a minimum of 3. That rainbow beam will always hit you. You can't do anything about it. It's scripted into the game, and it always does 300 damage. So you will need at least 3 E-tanks. Anything beyond that is optional. It just gets, you're really pushing tough time, like real top times if you're pushing for 3 tanks. So another small nuance is you may have noticed that when Kipp and Duck both had a little bit more than 400 HP, if you have 400 or more HP and you get hit by the rainbow beam, there's an additional animation because Mother Brain wants to get you down to 1 E-tank left. So she won't just go into the next phase. She'll actually stand up and shoot you a few more times, and you can actually die to that, which is probably an oversight by the devs, but you can die to that, and that's always unfortunate. But in the end, you will lose time if you don't damage yourself down to exactly somewhere between 300 and 399 HP. Okay, we'll see if we can get Kipp in here for an interview. And we'll have Duck making short work of Mother Brain 3 with that Hyper Beam. And then we're joined to you guys with Kipp. Kipp, how are you doing? That was a really good run.
Hey, thanks, Eddie. I appreciate it, man. What's up?
Nothing much. We were just talking about how, your execution for this one, and you opted to also go for PKRD. Was that Duck goading you a little bit in the Racetime GG chat?
No, not really. I mean, as much as I do enjoy a good back and forth, especially with Duck, who I have a lot of fun. He's one of those guys I know I can talk a little smack with for fun, and he does the same, and we're both on the same page. But no, I run PKRD fairly regularly in any % races.
Oh, okay.
Like if they're tournament races, it just depends though. I usually wait and kind of see, if I'm ahead or behind, and then by how much and all that jazz. But no, I'm pretty happy with this. I didn't get a chance to play a ton of Super Metroid this week. I practiced a little bit, but running a 43 with PKRD, with a 4-tank run, doing a few safety strats, especially with the baby skip miss.
And a baby skip
I'm still
miss.
pretty happy about that for me personally. So this is definitely where I currently am in terms of practice and stuff. I'd say this is probably better than average.
Yeah, that was definitely. We were just watching you. Just your execution for this one is really, really good. I do recall in the qualifiers, I think you did run a PRKD run, and then you opted to do the gravity jump as opposed to the lava spark. So it was interesting to see you do a PKRD run this time. So kind of like almost a different alternative backup.
Yeah, I don't want to bore you with all the tiny details. This is kind of something I've talked about for a long time. Lava spark is one of the coolest strats, I think, in the run. I mean, it's really swag. I think it looks great. It's obviously the fastest one. but the amount of time that it saves versus like just a normal straight up like gravity jump that you set up for specifically because you can get through the previous room faster.
Yep.
The amount of time that you save is actually not very much. It's only like, I don't know, 3 or 4 seconds or something. And on top of that, since I am currently running X Factor strats on Ridley, I'm technically like penalized even less for the for the extra pause or whatever.
Yes.
So but in this case, I didn't like I normally go for Lava Spark. In this case, let me put it to you this way. If you're gonna die, if you're gonna die in Lower Norfair in an 80% run on the way in, it's probably because you missed Lava Spark, took way too much damage, and then you get in really bad trouble. So I just try to be careful with it.
Exactly. Okay, and we're joined with everyone here by Duck, apathyduck, finishing with a racetime.gg time of 48:15. Duck, how are you feeling right now?
Kipp, you could have gotten Crocmire E-Tank and Firefly E-Tank and still won.
GG, Duck.
If you're worried about safety, good lord. This is literally my worst run in like a year. This is terrible.
I'll be honest, I didn't really expect much from you, but I figured I'd,
Jesus.
I'm joking, Duck. I'm joking.
I literally, I was doing a practice run before this. I had my best Phantoon entry, and then this happened. So,
Well, I mean, you know how it is, man. This game's complicated. I mean, I've seen my fair share of good runs and bad runs. You just never know.
Yeah, it's any percent. I mean, like, just everything that could go wrong went wrong here. Like, I had the Enrage, and then Attic went wrong, and then it just spiraled out of control really quickly. And like, I was just playing sloppy too, like, which felt weird because I said I was playing, like, basic movement wise, I was playing decent in that warm up run, but like, you can always miss the big stuff. But I was playing sloppy, and then I mean, especially like playing next to you, like, it really accentuates how bad it is. Like,
well, in fairness, I actually had like I feel like I kind of got lucky. Like I definitely played above average in this run. But no, man, it was a good race. Like, I was kidding earlier. I mean, I always get a little nervous going into races in a good way. I get excited for them, but I knew that if I didn't put together a good run, you'd have a chance to win. So
yeah,
I took it very seriously.
Yeah, I mean, like, not for nothing, but like, I think like one of the qualifiers you got like a 44-54 or something, and like I could easily 44 right now on a good run. So like,
oh yeah,
I know this, like, you just laid a 5-minute beatdown on me, but like, that just shows you how, like, there's a world where I just legitimately, like, straight up win. Like, if you have a bad run and I have a good.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
So it's just, except you had except when it's the other way, when you have the good run and I have the bad run, this happens.
right.
But yeah, it's any percent. Like, this was a free roll to me because I mean, Kipp, you're one of the top players, so the fact that I even have like a 5% chance, if even that, of winning is But unlike last year when you kicked me out of Dab, I'm still alive in this thing. So you just love beating me in these things, don't you?
Well, speaking of top runners, I think this is going to put me against. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but Gebu.
I believe it is Gebu.
Let me explain something out there to everybody who might not be as intimately familiar with Super Metroid speedrunning as I am. This guy ran his first 42 like 2 weeks ago, and then within 8 days, he popped out a 42 1X. I think he's got a 42 14. I ran my first 42 over 2 years, or maybe around 2 years ago. And since then, I've only been able to get down to a 43 3X. So that's like the most unnatural, and I'm not exaggerating, that's the single most unnatural spike in progression I have ever seen by any runner in any category. So this, like, going into this race, like, I'm expecting this guy to probably run a time faster than my PB in the race. So I am a big underdog in this one, but I think it'll be a lot of fun to go up against somebody who is just like absolutely crushing it right now.
That's absolutely going to be a really, really awesome match to run. Definitely, we're going to have to get some comms for that one. Super excited. Yeah, Gebu coming out of nowhere and just getting like a 30-second PB or something. Just absolutely crushing it.
It's absolutely crazy. I mean, the dude is operating at a really insane level, and I really like his strats too. Like, I've gone back and watched a bunch of his runs, and I like his play style. He's got some cool stuff going on.
Absolutely. So I have a question for both of you, actually. So let me start with you, Duck. So Duck, I noticed in Meridia, it looked like, you grabbed that extra farm, you grabbed that extra pack of supers, grabbed that extra E-Tank. I suspect that the logic that was going through your head at that point is Kipp just needs to die, and that might be my one chance here.
No, my logic at that point was I don't normally grab Ridley E-Tank on Crate Second, but when you don't grab it, you farm the Metal Pirates. But when you do grab it, you're supposed to farm the bugs, and I just straight up forgot to farm the bugs. I was like, because I had 4 supers, and I was thinking like, oh, I'll just do like 100 shots. I was like, that's gonna take so long. I might as well just. And like, I shouldn't even done the farm. And I was like, oh right, there's just a missile pickup here. So like, I just forgot what I was doing. And at that point, it didn't matter. So
you needed those supers for Phantoon, basically.
That was it. Yeah, I just needed
okay. And then Kipp, I have a question for you. So in that race, we have seen some people opt to save before the Mother Brain fight. However, I don't think you did that. You just went straight into it. Did you have any concerns or thoughts about considering doing that?
No, not in this situation. And I don't want to come across the wrong way, but I would find it very unlikely that any human in this entire tournament has spent more time practicing Mother Brain 2 than me, just because I ran so much low percent ice. And so like just the sheer amount of time spent doing that fight, I kind of feel like if I can't execute that fight in a race scenario, then I don't deserve to win. So I didn't think about saving there.
Okay, amazing. Really love the confidence that you have for there.
Plus I had 4 tanks. I mean, I was pretty safe.
Yeah, 4 tanks, you were set.
I'm not a fan of saving in these races, honestly, because I feel like it's just like, it's part of it. Like if you die, you die type of thing. Like, so...
Yeah, we've definitely seen some deaths in this tournament, that's for sure.
I mean, like my last run was 1 hour and 25 minutes, and this one was worse. So like.
All right. Well, do any of you two have any last words to say to the fans watching or to each other?
Well, I'll say real quick, Duck. Before you came in, I was talking about how much fun it is when I get to race you, because you're one of those people I can talk a little smack to, and you can talk a little smack to me, but we both know it's all good. Like, we're just having fun. So I enjoyed racing you. And Eddie, I appreciate you doing comms for this, and also just organizing this overall. It's really great to see other people step in and do some organization for tournaments. So I'm really happy about this, having a good time, and appreciate it.
In what world can I talk smack to you? I talk smack to Sloters because he's bad at Zelda, but you don't even bother. So, but yeah, no, it's always fun. Like I said, Kipp's one of the top guys. So just being in shouting distance of him, I mean, not necessarily this race, but it's, he's got years of experience on me. So
yeah, don't worry, Doug. In all seriousness, your time's coming. If you just keep playing, you'll start.
Yeah,
you'll start knocking people off.
I've got a 44 on deck for a while. It's just it's any percent, right? It's just everything has to line up in one run. So
right.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that about does it. So don't think the bot's working right now, but definitely give these runners a follow. Twitch.tv/Kipp, I believe, just Kipp, and Twitch.tv/apathyduck07. Is that right, Duck?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So both these runners doing great. Thanks so much, guys, for running. Really appreciate it. It was a great run. I know, Duck, you might not feel that way, but it was a great race. Really excited to see both of you guys continue on in the tournament. Neither of you are, Duck, you're not knocked out yet. You're still in the losers bracket. I think you'll definitely go pretty far in this. And Kipp, you're going to have a great match coming up against Gabu. That's going to be one to watch for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. But thanks again, Eddie, and good night, everybody.
Yep. So thanks, everyone. As Kipp said, good night, and we'll see you next mission.